This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Well, it is 5:33. Let's go ahead and call this finance meeting to order. This meeting will be conducted by video conference without a physically present quorum of the village board because of the disaster declaration related to COVID-19 and the public health concerns affected with the village of Winnebago, according to the executive order of Governor Pritzker. Hey, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Sorry, I was actually preparing for the board meeting. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 5:32.
All right, but I am here present in the village hall, in beautiful village hall here, so we can go ahead and get started. Let's take a roll call. Lori,
Present.
Julie,
Here.
and Sally.
Here.
All right, so we are all here. Number one on the agenda here is to approve the February 8th minutes. I looked them over. Awesome job. Thank you, Sally, for getting all that stuff sent out ahead of time. I was able to look it all over. I didn't see any issues with that one. Did anybody else?
Nope.
I did not. I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All right, roll call. Lori?
Yes.
Julie?
Yep.
And Jeremy says yes as well. That has been approved. Outstanding. Any disclosure of conflict of interest? Hearing none, public comment. There's nobody present in the village hall and there's nobody present on the GoToMeetings. So moving on to number 4. As of our government solutions, I did see we had an email, some correspondence with them. Sally, can you tell us a little more about that?
Well, he explained that we probably won't have any productivity from the telecommunications. It says that something about the database having to be perfect, or it could affect our municipality's income. So I don't know what the issue is there, but it doesn't sound like he says it probably won't in the foreseeable future be resolved. So, and then they said they're going to ask me for something and no one has contacted me yet. So I'll try to follow up with them and give them what they need. I'm not sure what an electric payable audit is. I don't know if he was just, but otherwise they're just cashing our checks for the ComEd discovery.
All right. Anyone else have anything on that one? Thank you for checking up on it, and at least know they're slowly moving forward, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 5, budget 2020. We are getting close to the end here where we don't have to worry about that at all. Is there anything that we need to be tracking?
No. I was supposed to meet with Mark last Friday, but we rescheduled to this Thursday, and we'll be going through all the accounts payable that will go back to 2020 and make adjustments before the audit begins. So that process will start this week. And currently, Julie and I had an email correspondence about this, but currently both budgets are open in our software, and sometimes that makes things a little squirrely. But I have to close the 2020 budget by March 31st. That's the way it is in our system. So by the next meeting, everything should be resolved. That looks weird. Julie pointed out health insurance, and there was like a water usage, building water usage, and it's just the way that the dates are falling within this dual budget time.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a good enough explanation, Julie, or if you had more questions.
So I guess I don't get it. So is it hitting both the 2020 and the 2021 is what you're saying?
No, the way that it works is I have the 2021 budget in there and it's kind of combined with the 2020. All of the expenses and revenues basically go into the same place, even though it's kind of hard to explain, but there are some things like there was a sewer billing that falls into the water usage line item that had multiple years on it because it was for a full quarter. And that will be resolved by an adjustment. Also, the health insurance, we pay that prior to the month that it's due. So we have 3 months in the 2021 at the end of the second month. So these are just the little things that we'll pick up. Julie also noticed that in the deputy clerk line item, it says 0, like she hasn't been paid, but actually that was an error that I made because I created a new line item for the deputy clerk and I didn't really tell her that I did that. So she's been doing payroll the way that she always has, and it's not her fault that she didn't realize to change over. It was my fault. So what we'll do is make an adjustment for the payroll that's already been paid, and then moving forward, she'll change that line item in the payroll system.
All right. Now, I mean, we kind of merged into number 6 here. I had a couple of questions regarding the stuff in the consent agenda. Let's see. Under the revenues,
Okay.
it says, let's see, general fund. Where did it go? No, it wasn't revenues, it was expenses. I'm sorry. That'd be why I can't find it. Here we go, general administrative. It said, oh, office salaries, the very first one on there, 0141421. So we're at 51% of our budget already.
That's because the deputy clerk's salary is being paid out of that line item instead of the one below it.
And that's what you had mentioned before. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Another one was under police. They are and you may or may not know this answer. I think it was printing. Where'd it go? Yes, they're at 101% already for their printing. Any idea? What,
Yeah. They actually, Jeff, because it's his first year budgeting and he just didn't know they were low on a lot of their printing things, they had to print, they had to get a case of the letterhead stationery, and also they had business cards for Nick because his position changed, and business cards for Sarah McWhirter. And there was just a lot of printing right away at the beginning of the year that was unexpected. Last month we did a line item transfer and it was just enough to keep it from being over too much, but there are some more expenses coming, so I'll be working with Jeff to see where he wants to move the money from, but that is accurate.
Okay. And so those are just really quick. Now, is it, I did not see, is that about on average what we normally spend at 450 and it just happens to be a bunch all at once? If you happen to know, I don't have last year's budget in front of me.
He actually had 250 in there.
Oh,
And I'm not sure how that, I don't have a thing handy but from the previous budget, but I think it was just status quo. It could have been that they ordered that letterhead, 5 years or more ago, and it just
And
hasn't been on their radar.
No problems. All right. And then I had one more question, and it was on the email you sent out, the village revenue summary.
Mm-hmm.
That was your most recent email. And it was, where did it go? Oh, video gaming. We had nothing in January and a whole bunch in February. Is that just the way the money flows?
It's because the collection is a month after the usage, so it was actually shut down in December. Is that the right? So the January, because our report here is on a cash basis, meaning I report what I get in January regardless of what month it represents. That actually represents December use, and they were shut down.
We did absolutely amazing in January then. That's the best we've ever done.
Yeah. And Sullivan's just opened up last month, so I guess we'll see how that goes too.
Do you guys know, did they officially, did they bring in the food and everything again too, or just the machines?
I've only been there in the evenings and it's been sort of dark over there, so I'm not exactly sure.
Fair enough. All right. Sounds good. And those are the only things that I had for the consent agenda items on that. Anybody else?
Hey,
have anything else
Jeremy,
for me?
what was the printing number how much is in there year to date?
$406, I want to say, or no, 400. Let me find it. I wanna say
450.
450. Yeah, and they had like 451 or something.
Okay, because I just pulled the 2020 budget. By the way, I don't have a 2021. Did we ever get a final printout of the 2021 kind of marked final for all of us? Or am I just the only one who can't find mine?
I don't know if we got a
I mean, it was electronic. Did you want one in your mailbox?
Yeah, you know what? I'll find it in my email box and I'll print it here at home. So just to give you the history on this printing, that is a huge jump because the actual for 2017 was 243, and then 2018 was 129, and 2019 was 250, and then we budgeted 250 for 2020. So that wasn't out of line what we budgeted. It's just out of line what happened, I guess. And there's more to come, obviously, because we got another new officer at some point. So
Yes.
yeah.
It happens, and maybe we just bought 6 years worth of stationery this year, and now we're set for a very long time again.
Yeah.
That is likely. I don't know how much letterhead they go through, but I really doubt very much.
I was excited to see that we got Sullivan's up to 69% or something like that.
Yes.
So that's cool. Be nice when that starts coming in and staying
Oh,
in.
I know.
Yeah, that 35% is going to be huge one day.
Mhm.
Oh, right. So moving on to number 7 here. I know we got a lot of meetings today, so I'm trying to get this moving so we get some time. Aging, the eye drop and the water bill delinquency. That was in that email you sent out with everything.
I think this looks pretty good.
You know, I had one question, Sally. I remember we had a lien on something I thought was $1,700 or something. Did we actually collect that?
I don't see it on here. Let me pull up that account because I know who the person is.
We had a lien and I thought there was a pending sale, or at least the property was for sale. So I would think maybe we collected it since I didn't see it on that report.
His name just jumped right out of my head.
Oops. Let's see if I have an old one.
I know it's on. I'll look on the street and maybe that'll jog my memory.
Gallagher.
Yes, Chance, something like that.
Yeah, I just found the October report.
Is it GHA or GA?
Gallagher.
Okay, I'll get the note on that. No, the last note was from June of 2020. Ah, It shows a payment of $1,720.27
Yay.
on 2/25.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, great.
Hooray.
Yeah, that report looks really good. So we got, nobody's really in big trouble in the community, which is nice.
Yes. Much better. And I think, it seems like we're doing a nice thing when we take away those late fees, but I think for some people it really gets them in the weeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
So,
almost better, I think, to work with someone who's having trouble than to just take them away. But, I mean, I get it. I get why we did it. I just, in hindsight,
All right. Next one here, number 8, we got November, December, and January reconciliations. Very exciting.
Well, I'm excited.
Yay, we're caught up.
I'm excited about February because it's going to be about this big.
Have you started to pass this this duty on to the new staff, or not yet?
No, and this isn't something that I would pass on. Some of the steps that I take to do it, for instance, with the credit card usage, some of that we're going to try to find a way that won't be like a full day of me doing. It's a lot of data entry for me to get all the information together so that I can tick and tie the things. So that's something that Kelly and I are working on. She has, I mean, things are running very smoothly in the front office. They are doing, and I'm not saying this in a way that means the previous people weren't doing their jobs, but they were just so overwhelmed. And I think now we have, they're actually auditing themselves every week and just making sure that everything's been recorded. And because I was so behind for so long, if I found something and it hadn't been resolved yet, I mean, it was a huge problem. And so if nothing else, we're getting some better processes going for everybody. So I'm open. I don't know if you want me to go through all these lines or if you just have questions. Most everything gets resolved in February.
Yeah, I guess, I know I went in that email I sent you, I'm like, can we go over these a little bit? I guess, were there missing items? Are there still holes that we're kind of, plugging in the reconciliations? I don't know why I struggle with these reconciliations. I don't have that kind of an accounting mind, but are there big gaps of things that you had to plug a hole, or where are we on them?
Well, I think one of the things that I struggled with was we have electronic payments that are automatically taken out of our account. And once I was behind, it was just a snowball. And I created a couple of different things for my new process to be ahead of everything. But I think, you know, before, a long time before, it was no big deal. I just remembered things, and I just kind of had things. It wasn't as reactionary when I did things, and now I know I have to have some things in writing to remind me, and just some reminders. And you know, I had no idea I would ever get that far behind, and so now I'm like, okay, I need to make sure this doesn't happen again. And I feel good about where I'm headed. I started, one of my processes is positive pay during the board meeting week, which is always, it's just a lot of data entry. We don't have a way in our system to print a report to upload to the bank site to tell it what checks. So I either have to create a comma separated file of those items, or I go on the site and enter them in. And I've done it both ways, and now I go on the bank site and do it, because why create a file and then upload the file when I can just go on there and do it? But it does take a great deal of time in the busiest part of my month. So actually this time, last time I did it, I created I just did screenshots of the process, and Sue in the front office did it this time. And you know, what a relief to have some help. So that's a process that I'll be getting rid of. And I think there are a lot of things that maybe, you know, it'd just be once a month that really help me, but aren't that big of a deal for them to just pick up and do, because it's not a lot. Sorry, I'm rambling. I know we have a lot of meetings tonight, so I'll stop. But
Julie, anything else on the reconciliations? No. Like I said, it's awesome. We got these plans in place now. We can move forward. Now we're, you know, you're caught up, moving there, and again, I mean, that's what this year is all about. Here is that rebuilding year. All these issues that we've had. We've got these lists of all these things we want to accomplish. So it's awesome. Continue to move forward. All right. Credit card review for January. There was something I saw. I gotta find that again. Oh, what is a fingertip grip?
those little rubber tips, I think.
To like sort paper instead of licking your finger? Huh.
I notice it's really hard to lick your finger with the masks.
Pasting the mask. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that at work. I go, it's like right into my mask.
So that might explain why they needed them.
Yeah. Now, they came in a package of 10. Is it one per finger, or do you just have 10 index finger ones? These are the questions that went through my head when I read that. Huh. Just grip it onto everything. Just. Otherwise, I didn't see any issues with January's credit cards. Anybody else?
Nope.
Nothing for me.
All right. Office staffing update. So Sally, there was an email going around earlier I saw in regards to some of our new administrative assistants that are coming due, where we need to start offering full-time or part-time positions to them as a village employee itself. Now, my question here, I don't remember, maybe you do, how we planned out the budget. Obviously, we're paying more now because we have to include first in that.
Right.
Did we, at like starting April 1st, we were guessing that they were going to be under us, and so we've lowered the budget for the rest of the year for that?
Yes. So the way that I put it in the budget is I calculated when I thought their 500 hours would be up, and the time from the beginning of the year to that point, I put in the amount, which includes the first staffing overpayment. I think it's like 23 something per hour. The employees get 1550, and the remainder of that goes to first. Once we get to that 500 hours, we have the option to hire them in or keep going if we want to. I put in an amount that was just a guess because I really didn't know what we were going to negotiate, but I put in 1650 per hour per each person from that point to the end of the year. So it's just $1 more than what they're making now because it is just a guess, and you know, I just thought it was kind of our highest, what the highest amount would probably be, but
So as long as we don't go over $1 more, we won't even notice it's already planned out, budgeted. Otherwise, we'll have to go back and.
yes, and that's assuming that they don't take vacations or take any time off. I mean, it's just, you know, all the way through, so we should be okay.
Perfect.
And the reason this came up is because Chris Gibler has 400 and some. I think Kelly had said 464, but then I saw a 435, so I'm not exactly sure where she's at, but she'll definitely be at the 500 at sometime this month. So we'll want to act.
Sounds good. And I think admin team was going to discuss that or whatnot. Just on our end, it's already planned in the budget, so we shouldn't have any problems at all.
Right. And just a side note, I've been working with both ladies more, and they seem to be great. So Kelly has nothing but good things to say, and I've experienced good things. So in my opinion, I would be happy with hiring them in.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's great.
Well,
What a sigh
especially,
of
you know,
relief, huh?
well, especially getting the input from the employees, since we obviously don't see them or work with them often. So getting a chance to talk with all of you who work there every day is going to greatly help that.
And you know, once we open up the office, they may run away. So
Got to sign them quick. All right, number 11, the Mantle development update. Very exciting news. This looks like it is behind us, moving forward from here. So we, you guys have all gotten those emails there, but it is officially ours. We're all paid up. It's good to go. And there's going to be lots of amendments and things to discuss today at the board meeting. I don't know if you guys saw that. But as far as us goes, just thinking about what we want to do with that community development, I'm sure is going to move forward as well. And then go from there.
Yeah, and it was good that Mary pointed out that we did collect recapture fees from Crossroads Church, and they were very close to the amount that we paid in the back taxes. So it's like we collected 12,000 something and we paid 14,000 something.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
so far that's a pretty good thing. I know we're looking ahead at spending, but
Well, and then there's lots of discussion too, that there's a lot of recapture fees that we will be eligible for as well, on top of that. 12
Well,
year
but we'll
agreement.
have to pay the property tax until we get rid of it, right? I mean, our goal would be to sell this property to someone who's gonna do something to it, I assume.
we
Unless we're
will
gonna
have,
build Sally a big office there and move Village Hall over there and give her a nice office.
that would be very nice. We will have to pay the taxes at least the first year. What I don't know is if we own the property, if we can exempt it from tax. We can for our municipal buildings, but I don't know what the rules are for just property that we own. So I will find that out. It's on my board to call and get the information, but it would be nice if we wouldn't have to pay property tax for a while we're figuring it all out.
Absolutely. Awesome. Very exciting. One less thing on the plate there. All right, number 12, the policy project. I know we were supposed to discuss this at the admin meeting and we didn't get to it. So that's just a carryover until next month, along with those, like I said, that list of great things that we want to accomplish, just not there yet.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk to Chad and Jimmy, and they had a very busy February. So I think I should be able to get some answers moving forward.
Sounds good. Like I said, and we'll try to bring it up at the next admin meeting too. So that was supposed to be something on the, on the docket. We just never got to it. Pushed it to next month. All right, any new business?
You know, I did want to bring up something as I was preparing for the board meeting, and I know we talked about this in finance maybe last month or whatever, but the garbage fees. And okay, so we have the ordinance in there with the administrative cost. I guess I didn't realize we were going to spell that out for 7 years. I thought we had talked maybe about looking to see how much does it really cost us on the administrative side to manage those fees, but we've got an ordinance there to vote on tonight to say this will be the fee for the next 7 years on the administrative side of the water bills, or a garbage bill, I'm sorry. I guess, and then I think about, you know, we've been wanting to go to automated billing, like online, e-billing, all of that. And so we're giving 25 cents to the general public and 10 cents to senior citizens. And I get the senior citizens, but I also get they're the ones that are probably the most administratively heavy, because I'm guessing, you know, like I'm doing e-payments, which I'm thinking is probably less work for the village. And I would think, you know, younger generations are going to do more of that. So I guess I'm thinking, why, you know, why should we give senior citizens the 10 cents versus 25 cents? And do we really want to spell this out for 7 years? I'm just bringing it up for discussion here. I was going to bring it up at the board meeting, but I thought I'd bring it up here and see what you guys think of those comments anyway.
So I agree. We discussed just the 1 year. And then we were going to, again, on that list of things we're trying to improve on, we were going to look into it to see if we just randomly picked a number, if that was actually the cost that was effective. The way I read it was just for the 1 year, though. I'll have to go back and look at that.
No, it's near the end of the ordinance or whatever resolution, whatever it is. It talks about there will be 25 cents added every year and 10 cents added every year to the new adjusted cost for CPI and blah, blah, blah. So it is spelled out for all 7 years.
Okay,
And I
well,
mean,
we'll have to bring that one up then, because that is exactly what we discussed, because we wanted to look at it, you know, this year, get it in there, and then let's take a look at it and see if this is a good number. And the argument that always has been, I agree about the senior citizens are probably taking more time and effort. The reason why they've always had a smaller cost, from my understanding, is that they're at a fixed income.
well, sure.
But I mean, I suppose large majority of people are at a fixed income.
Well, I mean, we're talking about a quarter versus 10 cents, you know, and the more burdens on that group of people, in my opinion. And so is a quarter, I mean, is 15 cents a month really going to kill anyone on a fixed budget?
Yeah, no, they're definitely good points. And I would bring it up with the board tonight. Definitely
I
good
just-
points on both of those.
Yeah, I feel like it's one group subsidizing the other, kind of, sort of, because they're going to be the more, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sally, I don't know if you have a gauge on this or not. Is it this people paying the senior rate, the ones, sending in the checks or coming in and dropping them off or whatever versus the other group?
I would say that's a good assumption. I wonder though if we do go to I don't know if you're referring to like ePay now or if we went to a system that was more automated, but maybe we could give a discount to the people that sign up for those types of things and have the quarter for everybody. And then it would balance itself out. Just a random thought because I didn't know we were going to talk about it, but
Yeah, I did not intend to talk about it until I saw the ordinance that had this already, mapped out for 7 years. I mean, there's the flip side is if it's going to be Mary's time to do an whole other ordinance next year. I mean, how long does it take us to recoup that 15 cents a person? You know what I mean? For her legal time. That's the unfortunate thing. Unless I guess we could ask her if we put this ordinance in place, can you rescind it in a year and say, we're rescinding this ordinance. Now we're going to put a rate of X and Y, because we may do the work and say we're doing exactly what we want to do, 25 cents and 10 cents, but if she says, yeah, we can change it next year, we're not married to the 7 year, then maybe we just let it go. And then but we want to keep it on the docket to look at this. I'd like to see us push more towards automation. I mean, we got to get these. I mean, I cringe listening to you, Sally, and this bank thing. And I'm thinking of Lori, thinking, is there a simpler way that Lori would know of, being in the bank side of things, to do this? I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, but.
Yeah, I mean,
I totally agree. Sorry.
no, yeah, I mean, I think we have to, we have to take the time to look into it and figure out, is there a way to streamline it? And I agree. And we need to just put this in place for 1 year so we have that time to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't just pay for 7 years and then find out, oh, it's actually, our costs are actually going up $1 every year, or, whatever the case may be. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, step one, I think, was to alleviate the pain, Sally, and let somebody else do that detailed stuff. But level 2 then is, rather than pass on an inefficient way, now that you have more time, can you see is there a more efficient way? Is there a way to do something to upload, and is that better? Or are there, I mean, to me, working on efficiencies, you and Kelly could do that now that you have more people, now that you feel caught up and you have time to breathe, so look at all our archaic practices, look at how I remember us saving our ordinances, nobody could find anything, let's get that organized, let's just start getting projects done before we lose one of these two. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole world is
right
going
on
to,
track.
yeah, the whole world has gone to ePay and everything, and I fought it in some areas too, but at this point it's like everybody has my checking account number and they just take what's theirs and I hope it's right, you know what I mean? At this point it's just the way the world's going. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm happy to bring this up tonight. I'm curious as to what Mary says. If she says we can rescind this in a year, we can just let it go. But I definitely want us to keep it on the list and see. Maybe it ends up on the finance agenda every month until we kind of address some of these things.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have to create some more committees or something for all of these different projects in general. I can't think of any of the names right now. The strategic planning meetings and all that kind of stuff. So I got 2 more new businesses and then I'm good unless you guys have anything. One is the fireworks. You guys saw that we got an email about that. That's not for us to decide. We budgeted $5,000 with the intent of the rest of it coming from donations. So that's still our plan there, unless you guys see anything different. I'm sure it'll get discussed tonight whether we're going to move forward with it or not, and then we can go from there.
I don't know if you guys saw the new guidance today from the CDC. They said that those that are vaccinated can now meet meet face to face without masks. So they're determining that the vaccine is a little bit better and all of that, passing the virus on. So that's, to me, that's optimistic for getting back to normal and so forth. So when we look at July 4th, I don't know, will I be vaccinated by July 4th? Will you, Jeremy? Will you say, we don't know, but more and more people are going to, and they're going to be more free to get out and about. And I can tell you, just anecdotally, the people that want to get out, it's just crazy. Planes are getting filled up again, and everyone's just sick of it. They're just willing to take the chance and get out. So I have a feeling 4th of July would be pretty welcomed in Winnebago, whether you're vaccinated or not,
And it's crazy on that too,
Yeah.
is how do you prove that you were vaccinated? I mean, you got the card, but it's not very difficult to write on a card, on a piece of paper. So you're standing around people with no masks on, people with masks on.
yeah.
But no, I do agree though. I think we are moving in the right direction.
Yeah,
And the
there was
fa-
discussion at community development that if the governor doesn't rescind, the social distancing order or whatever, that we need to still abide by that so that we can keep our state funding. Because I was like, at this point, it's outdoors. The 4th of July is outdoors. People can choose to come if they want to come. They don't have to come if they don't want to come. But I understand, we don't want to risk our funding. So, and I think if we're waiting for the governor to rescind that, I think we're not doing it this year. That's my thoughts. But we'll see what everyone thinks today.
Yeah. I said it'll be brought up more today.
Yep.
And the last one is the appropriations hearing. So I forgot to add that to the agenda itself, to the big board agenda. I was talking to Sally, I didn't think about it because we're having the hearing. So how is that going to, obviously the hearing can still happen, no problem. Is that a vote that we have to vote to agree on the appropriations? And then we'll need to have a special board meeting or something?
It will have to be a special board meeting because it will have to be on an agenda that the public can see that the board is voting on it.
Okay, so I mean, maybe we can talk today, but maybe on Thursday, because it's going to take 3 minutes to do. We all say here, we all say yes, and we all close. So maybe even this week, but that was the only item that should have been on the finance that I can think of.
Same.
That is, I mean, there's really nothing to do with that, but I just want to let you guys know on that end. The public hearing for our appropriations at 6:50. Before that is the air and water at 6:45. So it looks like, oh, they are different. So the public hearing has its own, just an FYI for you. The public hearing has its own link, and then the monthly meeting has its own link as well. So just to let you guys know.
Okay.
All right, anything else from anybody?
Congratulations on the
Outstanding.
bank reconciliations.
Thank you.
All right, the next
You're
meeting.
not firing me yet.
Next meeting's April 12th at 5:30. That's just the same standard we've been doing. Does that still work for everybody?
I'm sure it does.
All right, sounds great. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
So
adjourn.
moved. Oh, I'll second.
All right, roll call. Julie,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
and I don't know if I have to say yes or not, but yes as well. All right, outstanding, guys. Great job. Have a wonderful 30 minutes, and I'll see you guys shortly.
Bye.